How's it going, CrossFit regional athletes? Steve Rastigan here with Sam J and Eugene CrossFit. And right now, we're going to be looking at CrossFit regional workout number 4. All right, so this is a hellish workout. We got a lot of squats, we got a lot of shouldered overhead, and we got a lot of pull-ups. This is going to be a relatively long video because we got a lot of material to cover here. So bear with me. If you can get through it all, it's going to help you out a ton. Okay, so like I said, squats, pull-ups, shoulder overhead. Okay, so what I'm going to position this with is I'm not going to look at the back squat, I'm not going to look at the front squat. We're basically going to look at the overhead squat position, because if you're in good position for overhead squats, then you're in good position for front squats and for back squats. So that's the big thing we're going to look at getting you set up for here, as well as putting you in an optimal position for getting that weight overhead and also getting all of those pull-ups. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have Sam do a couple shouldered overheads. Then he's going to widen out his grip, and we're going to look at a couple overhead squats. Good hip drive. So overhead. Now it's a light enough weight, I'll just have him widen out that grip up there, and he's going to turn his body slightly and hit a couple overhead squats so you get a good profile view right there. Fighting for that position. Good. All right, set it down. Okay? Good. All right. And then obviously we'd have some pull-ups, but we'll get to those in a minute. So what we're going to want to look at here is it's a lot of squats. What we want to do to optimize those squats is I'm going to show you guys how to use the quad baller and release the quads. This one is fantastic. Takes a while to get through, but once you do it, it really makes a difference in how you feel all those pushing muscles and squats working for you right there. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the T-spine. I do this one with people all the time before we do front or overhead squats, and I can literally see a 5 to 10 degree improvement in their torso angle just by unlocking their T-spine, which is going to make those squats a heck of a lot easier. First things first, quads, all right? So what you're going to need is the quad baller, all right? Now we're going to get down on the ground here and do it in a second, but what you're looking to do is the programming calls for 4 times up 1 inch, back down a ½ inch. So what that means is we're starting right here just above the knee, traveling up about 1 inch, back down a half. Once you do that 4 times, you're going to do 2 times we call cross friction, and then 2 slight knee bends. Then you're going to repeat the process, up 1 inch, down 1 inch, 4 times, 2 cross frictions, 2 knee bends. So what you want to do is that first set of cross friction and knee bends, you want to hit up, right about here, about 2 inches up, another 2 inches. We're going to start to deviate towards the lateral aspect right here, 1 more, and then on the way back down, it's going to be almost IT bend, but still really focusing on the quad. Again, on the way back down, cross friction and knee bends here, 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 and then finally right above that knee joint right there. Okay? So let's go ahead and get in position. Sam's going to get down on the ground, set up that quad baller just above that left knee. The right leg, the leg we're not working with, he can go ahead, he can pull this knee up to the side, sort of help him as he's coming up, all right? And so what we're going to do is he's going to come up 1 inch and down ½ inch during the exhale. So he's going to take a deep breath in, exhale, come up 1 inch, good, so up towards the hip, down ½ inch, good, all right? 4 times on that, so inhale, moving on the exhale, good. All right, it's not a race, we're taking our time because your body's trying to contract to defend those muscles if it's painful, right? So now we're going to do the cross friction. It's moving out of the hips, good, pivoting out of the hips, cross friction across the quad ball right there. Deep breath in, exhale, second cross friction, and then for the knee bends, it's only up about 45 degrees. So as he exhales, it's going to come up till he hits my hand, that's good right there, and back down, still during the exhale. 1 more of those. Good. And then we get back to the process of up 1 inch, down ½ inch, all right? So as he's doing that, we'll talk about some of the concepts that are going on here. So Sam, just carry on. Good. So what's going to go on, if you're familiar with myofascial release, we call this myofascial compression technique. It's a little bit more significant than regular foam rolling. If you ever get on one of these, you'll feel the difference. But what's going on is we're unlocking these muscles that are bound up on each other, all this scar tissue and stuff that's got in on those muscles, it's very painful at first, right? There's a lot of nerve endings that are caught up in there. If you're brand new to this stuff, it's going to be extremely painful. You can vary how much of your body weight you have coming down on these products, but again, do what you can. Bear in mind, it's a natural defense mechanism of the body to try and tense up those muscles so that you're not really getting in there. So if you're going through this really fast, you're not going to get the full benefit. If you're going slow, going with a regular breathing pattern, focusing in on what's going on, and forcing your body to relax those muscles that are on the product, be it a massage ball, the quad ball, or the foot baller, you're going to get far more benefit out of this. Really relax and really get into that uncomfortable zone. It's going to make a world of difference as far as the results that you would get as a result of going through the trigger point therapy. Good job, Sam. Where are we at? 3. All right. Almost up to the top, and then we're going to work our way back down. All right, good. So you can see as he's getting closer to the top, he's starting to rotate just a little bit. Because again, what we do on the first portion, we're going right down the medial aspect of that quad, but then up towards the top, we sort of branch out into the TFL region right here, and then come back down the lateral aspect of the quad. Like I said, almost IT bend. All right, Sam, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But positioning is fine. I'm monitoring his breathing. He's getting through it. Again, not racing. Taking your time. Enjoy. All right, good. Stand up, shake it out. Normally I'd have people walk it off a little bit. Hit a couple squats, you'll feel a big difference on that. All right? Good. All right. So, moving on. Up next, for the front overhead and back squats to get much better torso positioning, we're going to release the thoracic spine. So what you're going to need for that is a TP baller block, 2 TP massage balls, and the double ball sleeve. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to position this one right here on the thoracic spine, sort of on either side of that spine, on those erectors right there. Again, here's the bottom of the shoulder blades. If it's too painful down here, you could work up here, but ideally right here, and the baller block is going to be the lever underneath the head right there. So what Sam's going to do is he's going to get down on the ground, all right? He's going to get those positioned right in the T-spine, and then he gets the block underneath the back of his head, gets the heels nice and close to his hips. And again, only moving while we're exhaling. So he's going to take a deep breath in. As he exhales, he's going to lift those hips up. Good. Next time, reposition the block as necessary. Arms are going to come up, because right now he's still got the arms in contact with the ground, not full body weight on those double balls. Now he's got most of his body weight on those balls. Now we're going to spread the arms wide, sort of moving the muscles along the back of the T-spine through a range of motion. Next up, we give ourselves a big hug. All right? We can spread those shoulder blades apart, really get on the TP massage balls, and then we pivot out of the hips twice. So he takes a deep breath in, exhales, pivots out of the hips, fulcruming on the double balls right there. So good, we're going to do that one a second time. Good. And what we do is we go arms up, and then hips back down. All right? That's one time through. Okay, good. Go ahead and stand up, Sam. Like I said, that's one time through. I would recommend 4 times. All right? That one is fantastic. All right? Now, before we get back into the barbell, because we've got the shoulder overhead, we also want to concern ourselves with the pecs and lats, which is also important for the pull-up. So before we get to the next 2, all right, Sam, let's go ahead and come on over here to the pull-up bar. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple pull-ups. So I'll have Sam do 2 regular kipping and 2 butterfly. Good. Good. And then 2 butterfly. Like a boss. Okay, good. So when you're doing that kipping pull-up, when you're coming down to the bottom, you're loading up the whole shoulder contraption, all right? Skin, muscles, fascia, it's all involved in loading up to then unload as we come back up to the top of the pull-up. So if we can release the pecs right there, that's going to be crucial as far as our power output, as well as on that shoulder overhead. We're going to want that shoulder joint in an optimal pressing position right there. So this is great for a couple of the maneuvers involved in workout number 4. And additionally, we're going to want to get in on on the lats. All right. Luckily, we don't need any other equipment that we've got so far. You're going to still want this baller block, and you're going to want to take one of the massage ball heads. So, for example, I'm back over here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to go through one time on the pec release, show you guys how that one works, and then we'll show you how the lats work, and then we'll check out some more pull-ups, and we'll check out some more shouldered overhead and front squats. We'll see what this has done, and then we'll get Sam's feedback on that as well. All right, so for the pec release, what you're going to want to do is figure out where you would place it. So with a soft elbow, you're just going to place your hand on your pec, and then that ball would go right underneath there. So I'm going to get that placed on the side. Now you can just use that ball right there. If you want a little bit added leverage, go ahead and take the baller block, place it on top of that ball. All right. So if we're on the left side, he's going to go left hand first, right hand on top, elbows nice and high. What the programming calls for is 2 pivots, 2 pulls. So as he's exhaling, he's pivoting right on that spot, not a big circle, just pivoting right on that one little spot. Then the pulls are, he's not rolling the ball across his muscle, he's pulling the ball and the muscle against his rib cage towards that armpit right there, okay? One more time on that. Good. Exhaling, pulling the ball on the arm and the muscle towards the armpit. All right. That's one time through right there on the pec. Again, 4 times is going to be ideal per side. Next up, we're going to check out the lats. So what you're going to want for that is some sort of sturdy stationary object, all right? We're coming over here just so that we can keep it on Sam's left side for all the demonstration purposes. So forgive us for one edge of the camera frame right there. So he positions it right in the meaty portion of the lat right here, all right? And what the programming calls for here is we call 4 pivots, 2 reaches, and then 2 pulls. So what he's going to do, you see he's got his feet away, so he's really levered up against this. As he exhales, he's going to pivot out of the hips, levering on the massage ball right there. All right. This baller block just gives us a little bit of space away from whatever object we are resisting against right there. All right. So we're going to do 4 total pivots. Use number 3. Good. Deep breath in, resets, exhales, pivots for number 4. All right. Good. And then reach is again keep the ball in place. He's going to reach that hand overhead, sort of driving his hips into that wall. So see how much of a difference having that baller block makes. Really getting the hips in. One more reach on the exhale. Good. Then as he resets, with his right hand, he's going to come up, grab that wrist, and same concept, but now he's really torquing on that thing right there as he pulls across it. Excellent. Good. And that's 1 time through 1 round. We'd want 4 total rounds ideally. If you're brand new, start with 2. Okay. Good stuff, Sam. So, hey, while we're over here, and the pulls will be nice and nice. Okay, real quick, let's check out some shoulder to overhead and overhead squats. We'll see if we notice a difference. Again, normally you can visibly see something that's going on, so we'll have to get his feedback on the shoulder overhead, but we'll probably be able to see something on the overhead squats. All right? Good. Good. Widen up that grip. Good. Go ahead and turn towards me a little bit so we get a good profile for the camera. All right, let's see those overhead squats. Thank you. Sit down. All right. Probably see, but after we released that T-spine, his upper body was in a much better angle, working on that one right there. As far as using your entire musculoskeletal system, if you bent too far at the waist, you have to rotate more of the shoulders, and more of that stress is just going to be right up here. It's going to make it hard to do the number of overhead squats required in this workout. But Sam, how did this feel for you?
The shoulder overhead felt the same. I was like trying to use my left more than my right because it was easier, and then that felt like I could almost drop down to the bottom of my squat and come out without having to fight hard for it.
Good. Okay, if you don't have to fight as hard to reclaim that position that we need in overhead squat, that's going to make a world of difference. But again, guys, go through this stuff. It will make a huge difference in your ability to just put out the power that you need for these workouts. It'll be awesome, all right? Give it a whirl. And again, if you have questions, check out tptherapy.com for more information. Thanks, good luck, and tune in for more information.